President Trump signs $9 billion worth of trade deals on a visit to China. But will it even put a dent in the country's trade deficit? More regulation for data companies. US lawmakers threaten the likes of Yahoo and Equifax with more government oversight. Welcome to World Business Report. I'm Rachel Horn. The leaders of the world's two biggest economies come face to face in China on Wednesday. And after labelling the country a currency manipulator in the past and blaming their policies for stealing American jobs, President Trump's tone towards China somewhat changed. One of the main objectives for President Trump is to get concessions from Xi Jinping. And in the last few hours, 19 commercial deals worth about $9 billion have been signed. They include Chinese firms buying food and helicopters from the US. But more than that is needed to narrow the current US trade deficit with China, which stands at around $300 billion. But what US firms really want is greater access to Chinese consumers. So American Express and Visa will be pleased that they've been told they don't need to work with local partners to issue bank cards in China. Well, joining us now is Ariel Cohen, a principal international market analyst and senior fellow at the Atlantic Council. Thank you very much for joining us. Will President Trump be happy with what's been signed so far?
Probably not. President Trump is acutely aware that the gap in the trade between the two countries is $347 billion with a B dollars. It's an astronomical sum that costs American jobs. And if Trump doesn't manage to turn it around for the elections of 2020, he's in trouble.
So what more can he do on this trip to China? Or do you think that's all we're going to see this time round?
Probably, but they're talking about bigger deals and more deals. The challenge for the American companies that go to China is IP, intellectual property. If the Chinese would not stop stealing American and Western technological innovations, ideas, patents, and trade secrets, then we will not invest, we will not go there, as lucrative as that market may be. But at the same time, Mr. Trump is looking at making deals with President Xi Jinping on North Korea. And here is the balance. He cannot push the Chinese on trade too much, endangering, jeopardizing our cooperation to defeat Kim's crazy nuclear program.
Now, really, getting access, getting the Chinese to buy US helicopters, US food, that's one thing. But really, the US wants to get access to the service sector in China. And when do you think, or do you think, that will ever open up to the US?
It is opening up. Some companies manage to strong-arm arrangements with the Chinese that they can operate there on their own. Tesla is a good example. They will be opening a factory in Shanghai, I believe, without a Chinese partner. This is a pattern as the Chinese economy matures that more American companies will try. Whether the Chinese leadership, which is now staunchly in the hands of President Xi, is going to agree remains to be seen.
What does China want out of this relationship?
China wants to manage it, not to jeopardize what they used to call peaceful rise. I'm not sure they're still calling it peaceful rise. But the Chinese are sure that 10, 20, 30 years from now, they will surpass, they will overtake the United States. They will be the number one. President Xi Jinping said so much in his 19th Party Congress speech. They want to keep the waters quiet. They do not want a major conflict with the U.S., at least not yet. They want to grow and grow and grow and become the number one great power in the world.
Okay, Ariel Cohen, Senior Fellow at the Atlantic Council, thank you very much for your time. Now, US lawmakers have threatened data companies with more government oversight amid a growing number of